David,
Shalom.
shalom.
How are you, my friend?
Thank God. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I'm driving in the. I'm just about to leave. I'm in the middle of a snowstorm right here. I don't know if you can see my. It's It's pretty. It's pretty bad right now. Um. I'm driving to pick up my wife. She was helping out backstage for a play. Um. And so if I get into a car accident, I want someone to know. So that's what's happening right now.
Well, I got my popcorn ready. Um, it is divine intervention that it is snowing in Washington D.C. because
Yeah, I heard you saying that. That's kind of brilliant. The idea that because they're all gone, they're gonna they can't do any more damage. They're just gonna find out what all those Doge guys did to them.
honestly, I think it's over. The Wall Street Journal had an article, which was the first article that even seems to have half of an understanding. Um,
Yeah.
Although the reason Andrew was losing so much money is because and crying was because he's grounded, and the rest of us are going to probably Mongolian barbecue tonight.
Oh, nice.
So I don't know how long I'm going to be streaming, but because Andrew said that that he bets $5, I'll immediately stop.
You just have to be with me until I get to the theater. How about that? It's only like 15 minutes away.
Well, I mean, the guys haven't even decided where they want to go. So when they do, I just suggested Mongolian barbecue, but I'm not sure there's any Mongolian barbecue place open right now.
All right. But you're doing well besides that, Jacob?
I am I am kind of way too excited and jazzed.
I know. I've seen you on a couple of things, and it's incredible to see such a pessimist experiencing optimism.
Colonimus, no, Mongolian barbecue is not like Korean barbecue. And I am not sure there are any kosher Mongolian barbecue places in the entire world, but there should be.
I thought you don't eat.
What?
Am I incorrect? You don't eat kosher, I thought.
No, I don't, but Colonimus does.
Oh, okay.
Colonimus is Satmar.
Okay.
Yeah. He would be one of the guys who wears a fur hat, except he hasn't gotten married yet.
Oh, you only get to wear the fur hat when you get married? I didn't know that.
Yep, your father-in-law is supposed to buy you one.
All right. My father-in-law is a Baptist pastor. He's not buying me a Jewish fur hat anytime soon.
Well, yeah. Donnie says, I'm a rabbi, I can make it kosher. Donnie, have you I mean I shouldn't ask, but have you had Mongolian barbecue?
I've had Korean barbecue once.
Korean barbecue wasn't that great.
Did we lose Jacob?
And definitely, I am sure if you've seen the wedding videos, I'm sure that Colonimus has been in at least one of the wedding videos. You pretty much have to go, right? If the Rebbe's granddaughter is getting married, you have to show up, don't you, Colonimus? And stand in the bleachers. I've only been to the bleachers when I was in Israel. Yep.
Jacob, I have a question. Is there Are there like mega synagogues the way that there's like mega churches?
Kind of, but they're very different. So there are these things called Stiblach, which is, or
Okay.
sometimes they're called minion factories. So in the middle of because you need 10 people for a minion, and if you can,
Yeah.
you pray in a minion every all three prayers, right? And people get up late,
It-
etc.
Yeah.
Although, yeah, the Bells has created the largest synagogue in the world. Orthodox synagogue in the world is Bells in Jerusalem, but that one's only open on high holidays and Shabbat, and you have to be a member of the community to be let in. But that's
Okay.
Bells. But the minion factories, so what happens is, especially in very religious communities, there are these synagogues with like 6 or 7 or rooms with Torah in them, right?
Yep.
And they're small enough, they're 20 to 30 people fit in, right, each room. And so minyanim fire as soon as you get 10 people, and people either join with the one that just fired, or so it's like flights firing one after the other.
Yeah.
And so yeah, you can go like pretty much. When I was in Jerusalem, there was one not far from my yeshiva that pretty much from 4 a.m. to midnight, there were minyanim firing every so many minutes, right? It like not many minyanim fire after midnight, but
Right.
yeah, they pretty much go all day. So that's the closest thing to a mega church there is in the Orthodox community, but you can't really have a synagogue be too large because you can't have a microphone on a Sabbath, right?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess. What about like I just think about these like ancient. I've been to Athens, and there'll be areas where the acoustics, like a building will be built. The ancient theaters would be so precise in the acoustics that you don't need a microphone. You could whisper, and people could hear you.
Honestly, the only reason I think Bells can be so big, and Ger also, for Rosh Hashanah, everybody comes to the Rebbe for Ger. So I've heard their minyan is over 3,000 people, maybe even more. And the main reason for that is apparently many years ago, somebody was talking during the prayers, and the Rebbe walked up to him and slapped him. Nobody talks during prayers in Ger.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Colonimus says the big shuls in Monroe use flags, if I recall correctly. Haven't been there since I was very small. Wow, Gage. You know, people, you could jump on. Did I not include the... I included... there's the thing. You guys could jump on. People apparently really liked my discussion with Christianity on the Spectrum.
I actually haven't gotten a chance to see that one yet. I look forward to it, though. I do think... I think that understanding autism is incredibly important to understanding a lot of communities. Yeah, I want to know people's opinions on autism related to everything. I want to know Me Too, but what about autism? I want to know all of those things.
Well, apparently, I might get one of the OGs to come on and talk about it, about being a Christian autist. Where'd he go? Oh well. Gage can't come on. Lance probably can't come on. Donnie never comes on. Colonimus never comes on. Neil doesn't like me. Andrew claims he's sick, but we all know his mom won't let him come on. Dawn never comes on. Let me see if I can find Mongolian barbecue. David's back.
Jacob, I'm going to go. I just wanted you to know I wasn't getting into a car accident.
I'm glad you did not get into a car accident.
Because I told you I was driving in a snowstorm and I didn't know how safe it was going to be. And then I just went, I got to go, bye. No, I'm good. I'm good. Enjoy. Which one are you going? Are you going Mongolian or Korean? I can't remember.
I was hoping to go Mongolian, but like all of them closed by 10.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if we're actually gonna go. Yeah, it looks like all of them closed by 10. Wow, Donnie.
Hey, Jacob. How you doing?
Baruch Hashem, Rabbi Daniel Shalom finally came to join us.
David, nice to meet you, or nice to meet you virtually at least.
Yeah. Okay, I have to go. It's no offense to the rabbi. I just have to go.
Take care.
So how are things in the city that is being nuked?
Baltimore?
Washington, D.C.
Oh, I'm in Baltimore. I'm an hour away.
An hour away. That's not so far.
I didn't know it was being nuked. Oh, you're talking about the Doge stuff.
Yup.
Got it. I thought you were talking about like a nuclear bomb. I was kind of shocked.
No.
I'm not. You know, I only follow politics like pretty like just check. I'm not like on a deep dive as you have been.
So I was a total politics junkie. Like I started this channel so I would pay less attention to politics.
Really? That's so interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, when I first started this channel, I was like, I'm what am I doing with my life? And so I did my Genesis 1 video, which I don't know if you saw.
I've never seen it, no.
It's 5 hours long, and I go through Genesis 1 letter by letter. Bereshit bara Elokim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz.
Just the first verse, or you go through the entire?
I go through the entire thing, but for every single verse, I went through letter by letter, and I repeated everything I was saying about each one. Right. So every time there was a prepositional bet, right, as a prefix, I would explain what that means. Because I figured nobody would actually ever listen to my video, but if they wanted to, they could find where I am talking about the particular verse that they were interested in, and then I would break down the verse letter by letter, word by word. And if you go on my channel, I have like, how far did I get? Oh, I think I got like a third of the way through through the Torah, and I did like a few chapters of Tehillim and various things that people asked. I did all of Sefer
So-
Yonah.
So was the main goal to break it down grammatically and to get to the roots of the word, or was it to give a general like explanation?
No. I was just explaining Aleph Beis. I was just explaining.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I was like, at least this I can teach, right? Without being a kofar baker. And
Right.
if I put it on YouTube, maybe in 200 years, somebody will learn some of my Torah and I'll get out of Gehenna.
Gotcha. So it was that you were hedging. I got it.
Yes, I was.
But it does remind me though that it is interesting. You know, someone like myself that was in yeshiva most of my life, they don't really teach the basic fundamentals of how to go through a verse and break down the word properly. It's really a lost. It's really a lost science, in my opinion.
No, it's not a lost science. You know why they don't do it? Because when the Haskalah happened, it was the Maskilim who were teaching Dikduk, and it became it became pasnish to teach Dikduk because it was a Haskalah thing to do.
Interesting. I didn't know that. That's fascinating.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Like my mother's father, my grandfather, was actually an expert in Dikduk and analyzing the words. He was like basically obsessed with it. And I've never met anyone remotely interested in that, like personally. I never met anyone personally who actually talks about, breaking down each word, each letter like he did. So it's really interesting. I thought it wasn't taught because in a way, when you teach, in my mind, when you teach the fundamentals to that level, it almost opens up the possibility for people to analyze things on their own. And when people have that permission to analyze things on their own, then you sort of open up a different can of worms where they're not going to necessarily follow the mainstream approach to things. That was sort of I have no basis for that, but it was something that I intuited as to why it's not taught.
I think look, did I encounter people like that? Yeah. I remember I was teaching math and English in a Haredi school. And one of the students privately told me, yeah, the parents don't want us to learn math and English because they want us to be, they want us to stay from.
Right.
And I was like, is there a certain percentage of people who are like that? Probably. Are those people horrible human beings? Of course they are. They don't love their kids. They consume their kids. Right.
I mean,
devouring mother.
Sure. But even the devouring mother loves their kid. I understand that the way it's enacted and the way it materializes, it's sort of like the manifestation of it is destructive in a lot of ways, but you still can't say the parent doesn't love the kid. It is kind of a
Donnie, what is the root of the word ahava?
To give. Hav, right?
Hav, to give. And a person who won't give to their kid something that their kid needs because they're afraid that their kid is going to go away from what they want, it's not ahava.
Sure. Yeah. I agree with you that it's not the ideal ahava, but a lot of these parents have no other way of approaching it, right? Meaning they don't have the tools for any other way of actually raising kids, unfortunately. I'm not trying to excuse it. I'm just pointing out that I wouldn't say it's that they're not loving their kids. I would say they're very much misguided, and they were probably raised lacking those things as well. Like, you can only give what you receive. So I think that's another way of looking at it.
If you're deliberately thinking, I don't want my kid to know math and English because he'll be able to live a friar life.
Yeah.
Not something I'm happy with.
Of course not. Of course. But it also extends beyond that, right? Like, another thing that I think is interesting is that, like, at least in all the yeshivas that I attended, another thing that's not really spoken about much is Tanakh, right? The actual, like, learning all of Navi and Ksuvim. That's not something that's promoted so heavily, which I think is interesting because my theory is that it doesn't really promote the yeshiva narrative, right? If you learn through the Yeshua, Shoftim, Malachim, all these books, it doesn't really promote the yeshiva narrative of, like, study all day and sort of live that kind of rigid lifestyle. It doesn't really promote it. So I think that's a piece of it as well. Meaning, they
shouldn't learn Mishnah Torah either, because the Rambam says, or Pirkei Avot, because it says Tov Torah im derech eretz. I mean, come on. If
sure, no,
I'll tell you one thing that really bothered me.
Yeah.
I was teaching 7th grade.
Yeah.
And I found out that one of the kids who had just turned bar mitzvah didn't know all 613 mitzvot. Because, like, anything that had to do with our arayot, they didn't talk about whatsoever.
Oh, interesting.
It's like, your kid's bar mitzvah.
Right.
You're not going to teach him 613 mitzvot?
I mean, what 13-year-old knows all 613? That's not a common thing.
Excuse me. I know, first of all, my rabbi, with every single one of his sons, made a siyum on Mishnah, on the entirety of Mishnah, including Nashim.
No, I get that. I thought you were. I understand that. I get what you're saying with that part. I'm just saying in general. I don't think a kid actually.
You don't learn. You don't learn that.
Oh, that's what you mean. There's completely, like, we can't learn Seder Nashim at all. I understand.
Yeah. Look.
Right.
Your kid's bar mitzvah.
Mm-hmm.
Colonimus, don't be so sure. I mean, there's plenty of people who skip over basic halachas, because it's a little bit too risque.
Jacob, my main question is, now that this is my first live stream I've ever been on, can I now say I'm part of TLC? Is this like the sort of, I don't know,
I'm Jordan Peterson's sphere. I made a clean break out of the corner. I am not part of the corner.
Oh, so wait, what? Oh, so what am I a part of now that I joined this live stream? What? Like, I feel like I should get some kind of reward.
It's the Jordan Peterson sphere.
Got it. Okay. So I have to do it in a different live stream to be a part of TLC.
You have to go to somebody who thinks they're part of the TLC, but then they'll tell you,
Okay.
TLC is, those people are just, they don't believe in boundaries. They don't believe in definitions. They don't believe in people actually having membership. They're wishy-washy.
Interesting. So I consider myself part of TLC. Maybe that fits. That description maybe fits me perfectly.
Nah, you're part of the Jordan Peterson sphere, whether you like it or not.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So where are you headed?
I'm heading home.
From where?
Just out. Meeting up with some friends. Nothing too exciting. Saturday night,
Yeah.
I'm in Baltimore. All the Mongolian beef places were closed, so I had to, set up for something else.
Uh-huh. What made you suddenly decide to jump on? You never jump on.
Because you said Donnie never joins, and it, I felt terrible.
I figured
Okay, it's about time.
you could join for
It's about-
Mesilat Yesharim.
That I actually really I just whenever you guys were streaming, I wasn't really available, but that I wanted to join for because that would have been fun.
Hey, well, consider scheduling with your schedule.
Yeah, no,
If
that
you
I
are
really. I think I discovered Mesilas Yesharim like when I was in 11th grade, I think, and I've been just obsessed with it since. I don't even know why I'm so obsessed with it, to be honest. I think it was just maybe it's like kind of like a first love of like it was my first like ethics book that I took really seriously, and now it's like just and in some weird sense it completely colonized me, and I can't get it out of my system, so I'm addicted to it.
Baruch Hashem, that's beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, if you learn it a certain amount of times, I think you're basically stuck with it. So I think I clinched that.
You've
that
done
level.
100. You've done Chazered it 101 times.
Certain prakim, at least.
Wow.
Not like I'm talking about the first, I would say the first 5. Maybe no, I shouldn't say the first 5. Probably the first like 1 or 2 or 3. I've done enough times. I can say.
The Hakdama, you know by heart.
No, I would say the first parak I know by heart, not the Hakdama. The Hakdama only after I like years later I realized like I really should be focusing on the Hakdama. I was kind of skipping it, but I was always focused on like the first 2 or 3 prakim for many years. So yeah. Why is no one else joining, Jacob? I thought like these streams were like full of people.
Nobody likes me. To be honest, I have to leave soon because we are going to Mongolian barbecue. But I figured
Nice.
Donnie never comes on, so if it was
Okay,
anybody
maybe I'll make it a habit. I didn't realize it's so easy. You just press a button and you're on.
Yeah.
So thought you had to donate or something.
Well, you should donate. You still haven't given anything to Mayan Menachem, as far as I know.
To who?
Mayan Menachem.
Oh, is that Fountain of Comfort? Okay. Send me a link.
It's in the description of every single one of my live streams.
Oh God! Now I just outed myself. Terrible. Disaster.
Come on. First of all, did you think I would name it anything other than something to do with the Rebbe?
Why? What's the connection to the Rebbe?
Menachem?
Oh, got it. I thought okay, understood. Got it. That's very soon.
I mean, ultimately, I think the way to be mentally healthy is to learn Chassidus.
I'm with you.
That's the Mayan. That's the fountain.
Nice. Yeah, I haven't really got into Chassidus. I mean, a lot of people that I'm close with are very into Chassidus, so they are always telling me all their ideas, but I haven't really gotten into it personally much.
So now you're outing yourself. You didn't listen. We did all of Tanya just for you.
I tuned in for I tuned in just for 5 minutes here and there. Ben's going to be really upset, by the way, that I joined the stream without him on it. He's going to be really frustrated. I wonder if he's coming to, what do you call it, Midwesterary. I have to ask him.
I would be very surprised with a baby.
Bring the baby. It'll be beautiful. He can be baptized in the church. It'll be beautiful.
Oy vey. You and your Gitchka-machers. I don't know why you're so much in love with this particular Gitchka-macher.
I don't know what that word means, but I just really enjoy those conferences. I think I've been to 3 or 4 of them already. No, I don't.
A Gitchka is Avodah Zarah.
Oh, I never heard of it. Oh, I got you. Isn't it called what is it called? Is it got? I don't know how to pronounce it. But yes, now I remember this.
Yeah, in Yiddish.
Got it.
Depends if you're with a Galicianer, if you're with a whatever, right? Actually,
Got it. Yeah.
Did you you should. So Rabbi Schneur Burton is coming on my stream on Monday.
I don't know who that is.
He's at Art Scroll. Getchka.
Oh,
I guess.
really?
Yeah, he's apparently a big guy from
Cool.
Basement Midrash Gavoa, BMG. Yeah.
Wow. If he's from BMG and he works for Art Scroll, that is some serious cred. That is.
Do you know what he's editing? They start.
No.
He's Kitvei HaRambam. He's translating
wow.
from the Judeo-Arabic to English.
Wow.
Ah,
That's amazing.
yeah. He's going to be on Monday morning, Monday evening. Sorry. Yeah.
Just you and him, or are other people joining?
No, just I sent him some questions, so
Got it.
you'll appreciate this. Elijah sent me a tweet that Rabbi Burton had. He'd done a tweet thread because he had read Halachic Man over Shabbos, and he was very critical. And I thought it was just some guy on Twitter criticizing the Rav. So
Right.
into him.
That's hysterical. That's actually hysterical.
And then
my
I'd
God.
forgotten about it. And then I hear about Rabbi Burton, and Elijah reminds me what I said of him. So I had to. So I went and deleted my tweets, and I had to ask him for mechila. He said he never saw it to begin with, and he was mochel me. But yeah,
I'm surprised he's going to come on the stream. Is that like, BMG is a very,
no. He has his own YouTube channel, and his shiurim are mom or something else. He has his own YouTube channel, and he's very active on Twitter.
Interesting. Okay, so he's a bit out of the box, even though he's in BMG.
But Mathieu Pajot follows him on Twitter.
That's interesting. I would love to learn more about Mathieu Pajot and his connection to that, because I know he apparently has a lot of connections with different rabbis. I'd love to hear more about that.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if he's actually communicated with Rabbi Burton, but yeah, that was one of the funny things. I was like, Mathieu Pajot is following this guy, so I looked him up, and then I heard an interview on with Art on the Art Scroll website, and somebody else from BMG who was at Art Scroll was like, he's like, oh, if anybody in my class would end up being a senior editor at Art Scroll, I knew it would be you. Yeah, and he's written. And actually his shiurim are very interesting. He has a Substack very outside the box. I mean, you would think.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like it.
Frankly, the criticisms of Halachic Man, if it was a lesser person, I would still call him a chutzpaniak.
Well, that's your favorite book, isn't it?
It's not my favorite book, but I really like it, and I did ask him. So I sent him some questions for Monday, because ultimately it's not kavod to ask questions out of nowhere, right? So I wanted to make sure that he already the answer or whatever. So I sent him. I actually did a stream with Chezi, discussing the questions I was going to ask him. You might find that stream interesting. You will be one of the few people, like a bunch of goyim were listening to me to talk with Chezi in ways that they don't understand whatsoever what's going on.
You're hilarious. Oh my gosh.
Hey, I love my goyim.
The way you say that word is just too much for me. Oh my gosh. It's hysterical. It's just funny. It's just a terminology I never use. It's so funny.
It's not a bad word. If it was a bad word, I wouldn't use it.
I agree. I personally, am a little bit, it's been used in a pejorative way sometimes in my life. So that's why I'm like a little bit cringe for me. That's why I just started laughing. I know you don't mean it in that way, but that's why I started laughing.
Hey, I call you a misnagid. That's even worse than a guy.
That's true. That's definitely true. That's true. Oh my God. I'm as misnagid as they come.
Hashem Yerachem.
Oh my God.
No, when are you coming out to Los Angeles? Now that Trump,
I'm really mad at you that you're not coming to Chicago. I'm really upset.
they're gonna have they set the limits at 400. I'm done with
You
it.
you think they're gonna get you think they're gonna sell out? I don't know. 400 is a lot. I think it's gonna be more like 300. You think they'll sell out all?
Rod Dreher is coming. If they wanted to, they could have 1,000 minimum. They don't want.
But the tickets are not like selling out right away. It takes months, I think, for these tickets. Meaning, right now, how many tickets are sold? It looks like online.
The way they're doing it, they're deliberately doing it in a way that just doesn't work.
I didn't know Rod Dreher was such a celebrity.
He's a big celebrity, yeah. Donnie's from Baltimore. He went to Ner Israel, Rahman al-Islam.
Oh my God. By the way, how's my audio? Is it okay? Because I've never done this before.
Yeah, you sound great.
Okay.
You sound great. You look great. We're gonna get shidduch offers after this.
Holy cow! I should have done this years ago.
You should have.
Oh my gosh. But it's a really stacked. It's the speakers. It's really stacked. Got a lot of great people there. I'm really excited about it.
With that number of people, to limit it down to 400.
So wait, if they were doing 1,000 tickets, then you would come? That's like that would change it for you? Are you serious?
If they were doing a real thing, yeah. If they were trying to actually do something real, yeah.
That's so interesting.
I have supported. Look, to this day, I have estuaries at my house. I try to support Paul VanderKlay every way I can. But if he's going to sabotage his own things, I'm not going to waste resources on his self-sabotage.
Yeah, but everyone's going to be so sad if you don't show up.
No, there's plenty of people who will be very happy if I don't show up.
But inside, they're sad. Come on.
No, there will be many people who will be very happy if I don't show up.
I think the way I'm going to approach is if I get Ben to come, then I think I'll be able to convince you. I think I'm going to start with Ben. Once I have him locked down, then I'm going to come for you. By the way, Jacob, it's supposed to be the reverse. You're supposed to be convincing me to come to these conferences. It's not supposed to be. I'm supposed to be convincing you.
Why would I? If we end up having the conference in Jerusalem, not only would I want you to be there, you're going to have to lead one of the Shabbos tables.
I would absolutely do that. Absolutely. I mean, I would drop everything to go to a Jerusalem conference. I mean, that would be so fun.
Yeah, can you imagine having a Shabbos dinner with TLC?
It would be amazing. As I said, TLC for me, and I say this every time when I'm at one of these conferences, I always say it basically feels like I'm back in yeshiva, just a better version of it. That's what it feels for me.
A better version of it?
Yeah, a better version because, I mean, listen, I was in yeshiva, until I was 24, I was 23, 24. So, like, I was obviously younger, and, the people I'm with at these conferences are obviously older, and they're have far more life experience. But
FFB yeshivas are very, they don't, like BT yeshivas.
Yeah.
You actually discuss a lot more. They're much more wide open. But people used to come to Or Sameach for the shiurim and the discussions.
Sure, and I've seen the BT yeshivas as well, and I'm not saying I don't appreciate them. I'm not saying I don't appreciate the yeshivas I've went to. I really do appreciate them, and they did shape me until this day. And I'm not taking anything away, but I'm just saying when I go to these conferences and all these people who are able to have such deep conversations with them and really open things up. It's just incredible. It's like, it feels very elite in a sense, just because the people there are just such high quality, and I always feel a sense of it's a privilege to be in the presence of so many of these people. That's how I truly feel. Seriously.
Yeah, so you must not have read my thing on Twitter about when I went to yeshiva. So when I went to yeshiva, I mean, I was used to always being the smartest guy in the room, right? So when I went to yeshiva, it was after college. I figured it's a Baal Tshuva yeshiva, and how smart can these people be already if they're studying at a Baal Tshuva yeshiva? And I figured I would be by far the smartest guy in the room. Right?
Okay.
And one of the first sugyas, and I went and I found the sugya. It's in Makkos. One of the first sugyas, I was sitting there, and I was trying to understand what was going on, and I was like, "This is shtus." I thought it was like it has to be shtus, because I didn't understand the sugya, and the Rebbe was saying, "Oh, you want to understand Tosfos and Rashi on this sugya, right?" So we're learning and there's a Rabbeinu Yerucham, which is like making a small diuk on I think it was Tosfos. It might have been thing. I know the sugya, right? And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, okay, obviously they like. This is some of the best of the Talmud. If they're making it like this is what you're going to study at the beginning of a BT yeshiva, right?
Right. Yeah.
And I'm like, and here I have Rabbeinu Yerucham making a diuk on Tosfot, making a diuk on Rashi, making it on the Talmud, on the Mishnah, right? And so I had to face up to either I wasn't getting it, or all of Jewish like Talmudic, right? All of it had to be
right.
Right. And that was when I really learned humility. And I sat there and I steiged and I steiged and I steiged, and then suddenly it broke open.
Wow.
And then I went for mincha, and Rabbi Bullman, Zichrono Livracha, he was the Mashkiach Ruchani when I was at Or Sameach, gave this beautiful speech on Magid Devarav LeYaakov, right? It says Mashlich Karcho Kefitim, right? Yizlu Mayim, right? It's like ice, and then it breaks, and it's like water, right?
Right.
And it was right after the first time I'd cracked my head on a piece of Talmud.
Wow.
And it was like the words Magid Devarav LeYaakov never meant so much to me for the rest of my life. Every time Magid Devarav LeYaakov reminds me of that, because he was talking about how a daf Gemara is like a sheet of ice, and you're banging your head against it, and you're banging your head against it, but it's a matana from HaKadosh Baruch Hu that suddenly Yizlu Kamayim.
Wow.
It breaks, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so what we used to do when we were at the Cheder Ochel, it was time to go back for night seder, we would go like this. That was our sign. Do you know what this sign is?
Yes.
You guys used it too, or was it just us?
No, I did not use that. No.
Okay. So we would use this sign. So one of the boys there, Menashe, was a real deadhead. He'd done all of the drugs. So I went up to him and I said, Menashe, I've never done drugs. Is it like we go like this? We say it's like heroin. Is it really like heroin? And Menashe said, I haven't I never did heroin, but I did pretty much everything else. said, well, is it better than that? And he said, why do you think I'm here?
Wow. Yeah. That's amazing. It's amazing that you had that experience. You know, a lot of people who go to yeshiva for many years and don't have that experience even one time. So it's special that you had that.
Of cracking your head on a Gemara?
Yeah, yeah. And also, you know, it's amazing how, you know, all these years later, you know, I still think, you know, really breaking down, you know, a Talmudic text is one of the most difficult things that to do intellectually. Like when I open up a Gemara now, it's so challenging to really break it down and really try to understand the text properly and what the commentaries are saying. It's really incredible. It really teaches you how to think. And I know that's the trope and the cliche that every rabbi says, like the purpose of Talmudic studies teach you how to think, and it really does do that. I really believe that.
It does. Yeah, much better.
But it is interesting though that there are people who go through years of yeshiva, and not only do they not know how to think at that elite level, I would say the way they think is so short-sighted and so unelaborated. So it is fascinating to me that there are people who go through the yeshiva and they're literally in the place
Don, it's not the same at university. You can take a horse to water. You can't make him drink.
Right, but I wouldn't say the overt purpose of universities teach you how to think. I know it should be, but in yeshiva, that is the purpose. Like, and it's stated, you know, openly. Like the purpose here is.
Universities claim that they're teaching you critical thinking. It's BS. They don't.
Interesting. Okay, that's a good point. That's a good point. You could apply. I guess you could apply it. You're right.
Yeshiva is so much, and this is the thing. I went to public high school, and whenever like. This argument, it's a very common argument, especially from FFBs. They're like, oh, if we taught science, and it's like, no, you have all your criticisms because the grass is always green on the other side.
It's true.
The Jewish learning system is so much, it's not perfect, but what's perfect? It's so much better.
Sure.
Honestly, I think it's Mina Shemayim that we have a learning system.
It is. It is. It really is amazing. Like it is not lost on me how incredible it is, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. What else we're gonna talk about?
I don't know. Anyone has any questions in the comments? Like, I feel like I'm a real YouTuber now. I feel like I have to ask that.
Yeah. Anybody want? Well, so Don said that was a great story, and I didn't even understand half of it.
That was a great story. Actually, I appreciated that story.
Yeah. Mark's in the thing. I don't know if I have a video about critical thinking being BS. That's Mark for you. Do you listen to Mark much?
No, I don't really.
Mark and I are so similar. We don't really get along very well.
Interesting. The main people in the corner I listen to is Paul and Luke. I think those are the main people I listen to in the corner.
Luke Thompson. Oy vey.
Luke is amazing. Luke is incredible. He's so great.
I love the man. I just wish he actually would think things through once in a while.
Oh, come on. You're being crazy. Come on.
I'm not being crazy. He has no idea what he's talking about. And Ben,
that's not
believe I'm missing out this late night Mesilat Yesharim.
There it is. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Now I feel like we're good to go. Like, I just wanted to make him jealous. That's awesome.
Luke, I mean, I had Luke on. He tries to think about things, but whenever he gets to a stira, he's like, Nisht kasha. It's not a kasha because I don't care about kashas. They're like,
come on, you're being so unfair, Jacob. Come on, you're being so unfair.
Show me one kasha that he's like, Yeah, this is Akasha.
Okay, first of all, in general, I actually think questions are not just because there's a really good question. It doesn't take away necessarily. It's not like
You don't
a
have
question
to
is
have
not
an
like.
answer. You have to hear the Kasha.
Mhm, okay.
He doesn't hear Kashas. He's like, nothing makes sense. He doesn't hear.
I don't know. I listen. I don't. I only watch his. I watch his videos, and I met him in person for a bit.
I met
And
him.
he's.
I spent a night in his basement with him talking. He's a nice guy, but he fundamentally believes in mystery in a way that, like, it just does away with honestly, like note 4 of Halachic Man.
Yeah.
It's talking about him. And I think Rav Soloveitchik, when he says it destroys the entire created order, I think that is it.
Come on.
His understanding of religion is
Yeah.
precise understanding of religion that Rav Soloveitchik says destroys the entire created order. I love the man, but he's destroying the entire created order.
Come on. I mean, I don't even know how to respond to that, to be honest. That's how ridiculous it sounds to me.
Why does it
That's
sound ridiculous to you? I'll give you an example. I don't know how much you know about Food Truck Emily.
I only saw. I think I saw her rando conversation with Paul, which I thought was amazing. That's the only thing I saw.
I tried to be very nice to her, but after October 7th, she anybody can go to her Twitter. If it's not suspended currently, they can go see all the anti-Semitic. It's horrible.
But wait, that has nothing to do with Luke. What does that have to do with Luke? It has nothing to do with Luke.
So when I said that, Luke was like, "Oh, it's all personal. There's she's a friend of mine. Jacob's a friend of mine," and it's like, Luke, hold on here. This is important. I don't throw around. I don't call somebody anti-Semitic like willy-nilly.
Mm-hmm.
This is you can't claim to be my friend and be friends with somebody who's talking about the USS Liberty. I'm sorry, that doesn't work.
Mm.
Right? And that's the thing with the TLC, right? It's like it's not the Jordan Peterson sphere where there's a serious inyan of, look, there's right and there's wrong, and I realize that the line between good and evil goes through each person's heart. You've been to my house, you know I'm not exactly the best person in the world.
Oh my God.
I'm not, right? But you have to have some level of standards. You have to have some level of standards. And that's the thing with Luke. I mean, his mind is so open, his brain falls out.
Oh my God, you're gonna use that phrase? Oh my God.
I
didn't realize you were so yeshivish, Jacob. You have all the yeshivish phrases down pat.
Well, you know the famous joke. They went to a philosopher. They found a philosopher at some big university doing disgusting things. And they asked him, "You're a big philosophy professor. How could you be doing disgusting things?" And he said, "If I taught mathematics, would I be a triangle?"
Oh my gosh, you're literally playing the greatest hits. I love it. You're literally just going through the greatest hits.
I remember the Rebbeim in yeshiva saying it exactly like that.
God.
Look,
Oh my God.
It's true. It's true.
Oh my God.
Oh, your God.
I can't believe on my first stream and I'm already getting involved in politics of the TLC, which I'm completely so distant from.
I mean, this isn't even part of TLC. This is the Jordan Peterson sphere. We're exiles from the TLC. Kalanma says Jacob the Mashgiach.
Seriously, right? Oh my gosh. How hysterical is that? He really is a mashgiach, Clonimus. He really is. Is it Clonimus or Clonimus?
Probably Colonimus. He's Satmar.
Got it.
And yes, there are people waiting for me to go
Okay.
dinner at a Trefia restaurant. But
Okay, enjoy.
but you're more important. You almost never come on.
No, we'll do it again. Now that I had the first round, I'm sure I'll join again.
Ben and I can set Mesilat Yesharim up. We would love to have you teach us Mesilat Yesharim.
Okay. Well, when's the next one?
Whenever you want. You and Ben make up what time's good for you because he's got a baby and you've got a job.
No, but you have it scheduled. Well, what is it scheduled for next? Tuesdays or something?
We usually do it Tuesdays around 3:30 my time. So it's like 7:30 your time.
6:30 my time. Okay, maybe I'll join this next one.
Okay. And then you can
Okay, enjoy.
what Mesilat Yesharim is about.
Okay. Enjoy dinner. Shavua Tov. Good
Shavua Tov. I'm going to end the stream. Good night, people.